burdened by the terrible secret he carried, found himself drawn to Amaka and Pastor Okoro. He told Amaka everything he had seen, everything he knew. He described the ritual, the Okeite, the small, lifeless bundle. He shared his fear, his horror, his desperate need for justice. Amaka wrote it all down, her face grim. She knew that what Chidi had witnessed was not just a crime, but a terrible evil. The market, once a symbol of hope and prosperity, was now a battleground between light and darkness. The traders, the customers, the children, they were all trapped in the shadows, waiting for someone to lead them into the light. The night hung heavy and still, the moon a sliver of silver in the inky sky. A tense silence settled over the abandoned warehouse, a silence broken only by the rhythmic chanting emanating from within. Chidi, his heart pounding like a drum, led the small group. Amaka, her camera clutched in her hand, her eyes filled with a fierce determination. Pastor Chikadili Okoro, his face set in a grim mask, his voice a low, steady prayer, and Ada Ora, her hands trembling, her eyes filled with a desperate resolve. They approached the warehouse, the air thick with an oppressive energy. They could feel the darkness emanating from within, a palpable force that seemed to push them back. Chidi pushed open the creaking door, and they stepped into the dim, red glow. The scene before them was a grotesque parody of a religious ceremony. The men, Obina, Sir Chukwuma, and Kenechukwu, stood around the Okeite, their faces contorted in a dark concentration. The pot pulsed with a malevolent red light, casting long, distorted shadows that danced on the crumbling walls. Another small child, bound and gagged, lay near the edge of the pot, a sacrifice waiting to be consumed. "Stop!" Chidi's voice, though trembling, echoed through the warehouse, cutting through the chanting. "You can't do this." The men turned, their faces twisted with rage and fear. They snarled at Chidi, their eyes burning with a dark intensity. They tried to continue the ritual, their voices rising in a desperate attempt to drown out Chidi's words. "This ends now." Amaka stepped forward, her camera rolling, capturing the horrifying scene. "The world will see what you've done." Pastor Okoro raised his hands, his voice a powerful force against the darkness. He spoke in ancient tongues, prayers of banishment, pleas for divine intervention. His voice resonated through the warehouse, clashing with the men's chanting. The Okeite reacted to the pastor's words. The dark, swirling mass within the pot began to writhe and churn, its red light growing brighter, more intense. The air crackled with energy, a tangible force that pressed against them, trying to push them back. The men tried to control the Okeite,